Sales is basically the exchange of goods or services for money. That's the most basic sense of what sales is. There are a lot of actual negative stereotypes around sales itself, and I think a lot of that has to do with Hollywood and things like Larry Kim Ross and the boiler room scenario. But in reality, to me, sales is actually helping businesses make the best decision in regards to the products and services to grow their business. And when you frame it from that standpoint, it's actually really important at a startup because they're trying to target the customers that are the best fit for their solution. My name is Whitney Sales, and I founded a method called the sales method. And essentially it's the philosophy of sales market fit. We all know what product market fit is, finding a market where you have a product that satisfies a market need. And the lean methodology that's been developed for startups has done a fantastic job from the product development standpoint and helping us find our MVP. And there's been some methodologies that have come out as well around lean sales. But a lot of them don't actually cover the go-to-market strategy and how you actually find a solution that's going to be and a product that not only is going to be a good fit for your market, but you can actually have that solution that fits, that you can actually reach that market. So if we look at what sales market fit is, it's looking at the lifetime value of the customer and what the cost is to sell and market to that group of customers. There really is an element in which sales and marketing can work together, and this is actually a really critical piece when I talk about my sales methodology. It's where does how the intersection between sales, marketing, and product, and that's really where growth hacking sits. In a lot of cases, we look at it as this: there's marketing, there's SEM, there's the area in which creating your product or helping your product actually go viral. But then there's also this element within using every sales opportunity as a marketing opportunity, using customer feedback to develop your product and actually develop a product that's actually your customers are really going to want. And then there's using the element of every product iteration as a marketing opportunity. In my opinion, this is where growth hacking really sits. When I decide to work with a startup, there's a couple different things that I actually look for in the startups I work with. If you build it, they will come element. It does actually happen in some markets. Developer tool space is actually a really good one for initial traction for low-cost products. But as you start to grow your database of customers in developer tool space, or if you have an enterprise solution or a mid-market solution, or even a low-cost solution, you start to see that initial traction and the founders starting to sell, and they're really trying to develop a methodology and scale out their team and create a process, and that's really where I come in. When I look at who to work with, I look at founders, number one, who've started to sell themselves, and they actually know what the market is looking like, and they know that they've done a great job, but they know they can do better, and they want to figure out how to scale the market fit. When we look at when a company should start thinking about selling, it's from day one. It's that sales market fit mentality that I was talking about. So it's a founder understanding that there's an opportunity available for the market and looking at the short-term, the mid-term, and the long-term sales for their business and who to develop the product for first based on who's going to convert first. And so when you think about when you're going to market, and targeting that specific group, you actually need to be thinking about developing for that market. You need to be thinking about how you're going to reach that market, what the price point for that product's going to be. And all of those are going to play into not only the sales process, the marketing process, but also that product development process from the very beginning of your MVP. Because of the stereotypes that actually exist around sales, there's a lot of negative beliefs around it. And founder selling itself is sharing their passion of what their business is about with their customers. It's understanding what a sales process looks like and their customer needs, what the customer needs are. And there's a number of important elements that actually come into founder selling. As an executive within a business, 90% of your job is actually going to be selling. You're selling to your venture capitalists around what your product actually is, what your market is, who you are, and what the value behind those are. You're selling to your customers. You're selling your first employees on coming into your business. It's a very important skill to actually develop as an executive. And when you understand that, it's critical to also selling your customers first. It's an extension of your customer discovery process. So if you look at developing your MVP and reaching and going after your target market, you need to understand that the product you develop actually fits that market. You did a lot of customer interviews, but when you're actually asking for money for your product, it's very different. And understanding the messaging that you're going to be delivering to your customer, understanding the price point in which you're going to be charging for that, testing out different price points, and then learning what that overall process is mission critical. The other element has to do with when you as a founder are selling your first customers, there's not an established market for your product. You haven't built out market knowledge about maybe not who you are or what your product offers, or all the important pieces around basically building the knowledge base around your product. And when you look at the founder selling, you're sharing your passion with the customer. You're sharing your knowledge with the customer, and you're really help establishing credibility for your company overall. And why would you turn that over to someone else when you're building your company? So understanding in the qualification process the needs of the customer. So one of the things I actually get from a lot of founders when they're starting selling is they've built out these absolutely beautiful products. Like, they're amazing, and we are all very proud of our products when we launch them. The problem with that is our customers don't quite know that pride yet. They don't know why you're so proud of your product, and they don't quite understand it. Typically, you'll find a founder who launches into features around how to, like, what each individual feature is and exactly why it exists. But they don't actually go into why it exists for the customer and why it's important to the customer. When I actually think about building out value-based language versus feature-based language, there's a really simple process that I think is important for founders to even take themselves through. It's an exercise, whether you have your first customer or not. It's thinking about what your customer looks like, putting yourself in the shoes of who you think your target market is, because you've already gone through and defined this very clearly, and you know that this company is the ideal customer, right? So it's taking that piece and looking and putting yourself in the shoes of that customer. So you go within your target market, the features you've developed for that market, the benefits specifically that those features cause for that specific target market, why those benefits are actually important. So actually telling the story around the importance of that benefit. So it's not just you can see value in this. It's you can see value in this because when you look at how your business works, operates, and runs, this is what it's actually going to do and be a game changer for your business. And then talk about, once you have your first customers, examples of it. The more detailed you get, the more value you're actually creating for the customer when you start to go into these stories. And it's the importance of when you language this is it's actually looking at the customer, the value, the benefit, and the feature. So it's not talking about you lead with why. You don't lead with the how, which is a really important thing. And I actually put this in an Excel spreadsheet. I detail it out. I talk about percentages, because you're going to have your initial 100 customers, so you should have stories at this point of what kind of benefits they saw from your product and why they saw those benefits and how it actually impacted their business. Use those. Why not? You've likely given your product away for free for a little while. You may or may not be starting to charge for it, but that's the purpose of being a beta customer is to help these companies grow, and sitting down and have these conversations with executives and understanding how that product has actually impacted their business from a monetary standpoint, a time-saving standpoint. These are going to be really valuable conversations when you go to actually approach and sell that customer.